Hello guys, and welcome to this Volks Wizard video, which is actually episode 4 of Project R8. Now if you watched episode 3 from a couple of weeks ago, you'll know things looked pretty similar then. We'd taken the covers off the bottom of the engine, or actually the gearbox, had a good look around and found something wrong with the car. It was an oil leak from an oil pipe. There wasn't much else to note, but this could be a big problem if it's not dealt with, and we don't want to have to be replacing the engine if all the oil ends up on the floor all of a sudden. So as you can imagine, I didn't hang around in buying a replacement part, and I've got that right here. Now this is an improved part from Audi. The original ones on these are powder coated black, but the steel quality is pretty poor. I think Audi got pretty much stitched up by the supplier if they're having to be replaced at 5 years, but they're not doing it under warranty. I think there is a bit of goodwill here and there, but I just can't be bothered. This was, I think, 180 plus that. I got a very generous, thank you Audi, 2% discount, trade discount on this part, but actually it's cheaper than I thought it would be. Anyway, I'll just show you where it goes. So this end here with the connection with 2 bolts goes, I'll just put my light on, is here. So that's just there, and then it goes up over the chassis leg. Initially I thought it went into the oil cooler, which is here. You can see it's got 2 connections there, but actually this one goes back over the chassis leg to the sump. There, it's actually that. So that bit there on the tyre with the cap on it actually goes into the sump there. So in theory it shouldn't be too hard. We've got 2 bolt there holding that on, and we've got 2 there. Well, how hard can it be? Famous last words really, and there's a bit of corrosion on them. I've actually loosened those 2 already, so it's not too bad. What we're going to do then is undo that pipe there on the oil tank, and I presume quite a lot of oil is going to come out of the tank, and we're going to catch that in a can. So that's the idea. I mean, the pipe is flexible. It's sort of pipe on one end, hose in the middle, so that should make it a bit easier to squeeze it in. I'm not hoping to have to take this tray off. I've been warned to be careful not to short the starter motor, which you might be able to see just there. If that metal shorts out, then you'll end up running the engine, which with no oil in it is pretty bad, although it'd be actually worse if you've got your car in gear and you've got it on axle stands and then it drives the front wheels. Yeah, that wouldn't be good. Anyway, without any further ado, let's get this rusty old oil pipe off Project R8 and get the shiny new one fitted. Got the boot open, and I'm going to disconnect the battery, or the battery negative terminal, which is that one. The reason for that is thanks to Ricky on R8 Talk Forum, because he said be very careful because of the location of the starter motor and the pipe, that when you've released the pipe from the tank and you're trying to work it out of the car away from the chassis, you could quite easily short the terminals on the starter motor, which wouldn't be a very good thing when the car's got no oil in it. So thank you, Ricky on R8 Talk. I'm heeding your advice. And I didn't forget I had a tracker on it, because had I not done the garage mode tweak using the app on my phone, which I'll show you now, I'd be getting a phone call saying, did you know your battery's been disconnected on your R8, Mr. Chappell? And I'd say, oh yes, that was me. Oh no, sorry, that was a stupid mechanic. It wasn't me, no. Anyway, so yes, let's try and get that pipe out now. Okay, just got to a crucial point on the job, and I managed to get the pipe out of the sump, so it's just drained, bloody hell. All that oil already has just come out. Yeah, it's going to be close to the capacity of the can, but we know it's about 5 litres. The pipe, well, hose, stroke pipe, whatever it is, bit of both, isn't it? It's now sticking out in the wheel arch, so it's come over the chassis leg, and now it's got to come. Well, we've got to get the other bit off the tank, which could be interesting, but it's looking all right. I did hope that because it was a flexible hose on 2 bits of pipe, it might be a little bit easier to get through the gaps. Well, this is going to be the important bit now. Okay guys, I'm back on my gimbal and GoPro now. So this is wrapping up this job. As you can see, it's still daylight. There's still a bit to go. What you didn't see me do was take this tray off. It's only partially off because there's a bit of a stubborn screw here, but it's not damaging it. This is the main engine tray, so you haven't seen this bit off before. We'd exposed this section here, but we hadn't exposed this section here. And I didn't maybe need to, but I just wanted to make sure that I could see what was going on here, because this is very important. So the pipe that we've replaced actually goes into the sump here. I'm not sure if you can see that. It's a silver one. That's the original black, sort of cheap steel with a black coating that doesn't work very well. And the new one is stainless. And all that oil leaking is where it's all come out the sump. I mean, that is the aluminium. Looks like plastic. It's incredible. Okay, and then the pipe is actually this one here. It's got this protective sleeve on it. And that rubs against the arch liner, but because that's protected, that's fine. Goes over the chassis leg, pops out down here by the starter motor, and now it's nice and shiny. It's much more photogenic, I think. So this is the one we replaced, and goes to the bottom of the alloy. Yeah, interesting, nice alloy, not black painted. Oil tank just there. That's the starter motor there. So you can imagine if you undo that and waggle it, you're going to short the starter motor, which is just here, which could be, well, not a very good idea. That's why I disconnected the battery. So yeah, that's done. Bit of finishing off to do, put the tray back on and the wheel and so on. But I just thought you might want to have a look at this old bit. So this is the bit that goes to the tank. This is the bit where you saw last time with the part number. And this is the bit sort of just as it starts to go into the rear wheel arch. And it looks like the weak point is where the braiding, like a collar, it's just crumbling away. The braiding becomes a pipe, so it's a link between the braided bit and the metal bit. And yeah, that's pretty horrible. And what was happening, we were getting a bit of a weep from the pipe because it's just become porous. When a metal corrodes, it lets stuff go through it, becomes porous before it starts to fail. Then it becomes really weak and then it breaks in its entirety, and that's really bad news. So I'm glad I caught it. It wasn't too expensive, it wasn't too bad to do, and it's always good to get to grips with your car. Just have a good look underneath it, because you might see other things. You know, I can tell the rear brake discs are on borrowed time, but they work okay. Although the handbrake's not brilliant, so that's another job for the future. But so the next job really is to try and get the wheels refurbished and get the front bumper painted, which is going to be harder than I thought to do that. But those will probably be the next instalment. So if you've enjoyed Project R8, then please come back for more. I just want to show to you that they're actually not that hard to work on, and they don't lose money. So if you can do a bit of DIY and you don't have a car that depreciates, it's actually probably cheaper to run than a Golf. So that's food for thoughts. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this Volks Wizard video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, please comment, please share, please subscribe, and I'll see you for lots more great content really soon.